in my garage. So this is Matilda, a mountain bike. She's a 2021 Motobecane Fantom DS Elite. Bunch of modifications, but basically just doing some basic maintenance on this thing. So my drivetrain cable, right here, you can see the housing is pretty nasty and damaged. So we're going to change that out, and since we're changing that out, we're also going to change out the inner cable as well. So we're going to be changing the housing and the inner cable to my rear derailleur here. So I've never done it before, so this is the MTB noob trying to fix his MTB. So hopefully we don't screw it up too much, so we'll go ahead and give it a shot. So here we go. So first things first is I want to take a look at this and see how this is set up. So we're going to have to chop this little guy off. This is going to have to get loosened. We're going to have to pull that through, take off these little clip guys here. We're going to unscrew that so that comes out. And then, so it comes out of the top tube. Yeah, so that's going to be, actually, that shouldn't be too bad to route. And I am an HVAC tech, so I do have to route wires and stuff through things sometimes. So I'm going to try those tricks that I use to route wires through things to pull this through, because there's definitely not an insert, because this was a cheap bike until I spent lots of money on upgrading it. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to get prepped before we do anything. So here we go. We're going to try a little trick that I use to pull wire and see if that works. If it doesn't, I'll just have to do it the hard way. But honestly, because this has one of these caps, shouldn't be too difficult to route through, and it's just straight through the top tube, which is really nice. So anyway, let's try this out. So we're going to loosen this bolt here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and pull that through, just like that. And then pop this out like that. All right, so she is free. Then we're gonna have to take this ferrule out, that way we can pull it through. All right, so here's a little trick we do in HVAC when we're pulling wires. We attach our new wire to our old wire, we pull the old wire out, and as we're pulling out the old one, it pulls the new one through. So I've actually stuck the inner cable into the new housing, and then I've taped it with some electrical tape. So let's slowly, carefully pull it through and see if this works. And there it is. So that's a nice, easy way of doing things. So as you can see, we now have our new housing through there as we're pulling out the old one. So, and then also a trick is you want to go ahead and make a little lip here, just so it makes it easier to take the tape off. You want to give it a good amount of wraps, otherwise, you know, it'll just pop right off. But this is something that we do in HVAC when we're trying to run line. A new wire is we'll actually, you know, if we can't punch a hole in the wall, we'll attach the new wire to the old wire, pull the old wire out, and as we're doing that, we're putting in new wire. So apparently this works on bikes as well. All right, so the nice thing is I removed this bolt here and the whole thing comes right off. I did make a mark with a Sharpie, that way I know, you know, where it goes. Anyway, we got this thing disconnected. I'm sure you could probably do it while it's still on the handlebars, but like I said, I've never done this before and I'm just kind of winging it. So yeah, I know that this right here is the dust cover. So there's our little cable bead thing in there. So we need to get that out. All right, so here's a little tip that I've just learned. So when you're trying to pull this out, it's not, you know, you open up this little dust cover and it's not lined up. You can't get it out. So you actually need to put it in your hardest possible gear. And when you're doing this, it's probably a better idea to do it before you take the whole bike apart. But since it's already apart, you're gonna wanna go ahead and put some tension on that. So just pull on it and then go ahead and start shifting it up. Sorry, this is hard to do one-handed. I'm trying to hold the phone and do this all at the same time. But now, and you're just gonna keep doing that until it won't click anymore. And so now, when we wanna get this out, it should just slide right out. Hold on here. This is so hard to do one-handed. There we go. See, there it goes, pops right out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fiddle with it to get it out of there, but yeah, so you get the idea. If it's in the easier gears, it's not lined up and you can't get it out. So it's probably a good idea to put it in the hardest gear before you even start taking all the stuff apart. But like I said, first time for everything, so don't make my mistakes. All right, so I got the ferrule there, and we got the clips back there. We got that back on. Of course, that screw, the Allen I have is slightly too small and it's not wanting to go in, so I'll have to go to the store and get one of those. So we got this coming out. So we want to kind of just line it up. That's about the same. I measured it. It's pretty much the exact same length as the original one. So that should be more than enough. And we got plenty of, loop to go around. So we're going to go ahead and put the inner cable in. First, we'll put the ferrule on this side, and then we'll go ahead and start feeding our inner cable. So again, you want to have this in the hardest gear, and you're basically just going to pull that all the way through like that, and it's going to pop in there like that. See that? Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and run our inner cable into our housing. All right, so I got my shifter back in place. We're going to shove that back in there. Now it's very important here that you got to readjust your what do you call it, barrel adjuster. So what we want to do is we want it back down. Okay, so it's all the way, and then we want to give it like a full turn just so we can play with it. And then we got to make sure that that's in there. Yeah, I might actually need to cut that a little bit short. No, actually I think that's good. Yeah, we'll screw with that a little bit. But anyway, now we got that done, we need to go ahead and get this all reconnected, and then we'll go from there. There we go. All right, and then it's going to go around this thing, right around that, and then through there. All right, so another trick I learned that with the SRAMs, you can actually, pop this cage out of the way. You have this little handy dandy thing here. You just pull it back and push that, and it holds it open, and now it's out of the way. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we got this all routed through here. We're going to pull her nice and tight and bring her down, bend her downwards, and then we'll crank that down. And then we'll chop off our excess, and then we'll put the little cable in down there. And you don't want this like super tight, but you want to get a good, get it nice and tight, but not too tight. So you just want it nice and firm. That way it's putting enough pressure on the lever. That way you won't have to adjust the barrel adjuster too much. And then after you do this, you will get a little bit of cable stretch because everything's like settling. So you might have to adjust it. That's why we put the barrel adjuster all the way back, and then we gave it a full turn just so in case we need to go back. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this fixed. I'm not going to chop this until I get everything all set. All right, moment of truth. So we can go ahead and try our first shift. Oh, look at that. Nice. Let's try the next one. All right. So we kind of lucked out. Look, and it's already shifting a lot better. I might need to make some minor adjustments with the barrel adjuster. Oh, see, there's one, okay. So that one didn't quite shift properly. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust our barrel adjuster. So remember, we turned it all the way this way. So let's go this way now. We'll go a couple clicks because it's just gonna be slight adjustments. Alrighty, so definitely wanna do this two-handed. So basically, as I'm spinning this thing, I'm just adjusting my barrel adjuster. So I had to make some minor adjustment. I think I ended up having to do 4 or 5 turns. But now we can see it's actually going to shift properly. So we'll go ahead and there we go. There's that. Nice and smooth. Next one. Nice and smooth. Next one. And it's much better if you're just like constantly keeping this going, not stopping. But this is because I'm only doing this one-handed. So you can see now I'm actually going into the proper gears, and it's really smooth. Now you will have to make some minor adjustments with the barrel adjuster, probably for a little while after, and that's just because everything is going to be settling. But I think I pretty much got her dialed. As you can see, it's not skipping gears anymore. So yeah. So anyway. Look at that, HVAC tech versus mountain bike maintenance. So I got my new housing, new inner cable, and we got this all indexed and set up. So it's ready to ride. So, all right, so we got that little end on there. So she's good to go. Now, if the smoke would clear up, it'd be nice to go on a mountain bike ride. Oh, and then one thing I did notice, if you notice my bike is nice and clean, it's usually a nice tan gray color because it's super dusty. Make sure you wash your bike before you do any of this stuff. You want a nice clean bike before you're gonna open stuff up and things like that. But anyway, hopefully this helps you out. This is how an HVAC tech does maintenance on his bike or hacks up his bike. I mean, my next bike ride, my derailleur will probably fall off or something. But anyway, hopefully this helps you out. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible bike tech I am, and then we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.